Welcome back to the 2018 Junior Roller Derby Association Championships. Very excited to be joining you for Game 5 of Day 1 in the female division. We have Santa Cruz Derby Groms up against Rose City Rollers. I'm Death Nella.
And I'm Scott Chicken.
And we are very excited to make this call for you today.
Yes, indeed.
And we've got a lot jam-packed into this. It's the #1 seed Santa Cruz against the #8 Rose City. Rose City having played earlier today, winning that spot against Chick Whip's Junior Roller Derby. The Chick Whips will be playing tomorrow. They're taking on the FOCO Roller Derby at 10 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, lucky Chick Whips. They lose an early game today, and then they get the day off to rest, and they get to take on FOCO in the morning.
Now, of course, those morning teams, though, could stand to play another game later on in the day, depending on how that shakes up. So let's get into our rosters here, Chicken.
All right. So for the Santa Cruz Derby Grounds, currently ranked #1 and seeded #1, we've got number 00, Mini Mayhem. 101 is Bruzella DeVille. 15, Bonnie and Collide. Number 152, Mocking Jam. Number 19, Loose Cannon. 22 is Kenny the Shark. Number 26, Lil Killa. The wearing the C for this game is number 30, Cerberus. 53 is Sugar Smacks. Number 62, Tryon. Number 72, Pain Jane. 80 is Sunkissed. Number 90, One Hit Wanda. Number 91, Kitty Whales. And number 99, Marinator. And standing at the bench but not wearing skates because she's injured is Loose Cannon, number 19. We wanted to thank her anyway.
All right, and for Rose City Rollers, number 13, Fulagora. Number 138, Demon Speed. Number 17, Trickster. 1717, oh goodness, Trooper. Number 252, Pack Animal. Number 26, Mace of Spades. 29 is the Rubinator. Number 31, Kid Vicious. Number 360, Big Bang Fury. The captain for Rose City here is 423, Spencer. Number 43, Madelweiss. Number 44, Tyranny. Number 75, Lemmy Adam. Number 8, LCU Later. Number 828, Strawberry Short Fuse. She's the alternate for this game. And number 853, Misdemeanor. And the coaches for Rose City, Resting Blitzface, Darth Bling, Dirty Diana, and Luna.
I forgot to mention your coaches for the Santa Cruz Derby Grom Shells. You got I'm a Hot Mess, Neoscorin, Adrian's Revenge, and Victoria Mayhem, and we are ready to go.
And we also want to say a big thanks for our production stats crew here, and that's Gretchen right beside me here, passing along the jam.
Eagle eyes from up here. We got Tyranny rather, jamming for the Rose City Rollers. And out first is lead jammer.
Exactly, and then we have number 101 for Santa Cruz Derby. That's Bruzella DeVille.
So Tyranny pushing towards the front of the pack, trying to get around Mini Mayhem, not able to, calls off the jam.
That was a fast pack right out the gates there.
And Rose City coming out guns blazing, with early score 3 points. These teams have not played yet this year. They have played over the last 3 seasons 4 times, looks like, with Rose City, or with Santa Cruz rather, the 3-1 advantage. They were both at the Big, no, they weren't both at the Big O, but, I'm sorry, they were both at the Big O, but they did not play at the Big O.
And that's just how things go in this, in the roller derby world. You can sometimes be in the same place at the same time. All right, we have number 30 for Santa Cruz, Cerberus rather, the captain with lead. Meanwhile, number 10 for White.
That's 138 Demon Speed actually jamming for.
And that's it.
It looks like a 1-0, but it's a 3. So 5 points up for Cerberus on the first scoring pass. Now back engaged for number 2 is.
Bit of a back hit there on turn 1.
And Demon Speed tied up at the front of the pack.
Some effective one-on-one blocking right at the very top there. And that creates a space for Cerberus to get through. Picking up 5 points for that pass.
Yep, so a 10-3 lead now for Santa Cruz as Cerberus again cutting from the inside back to the middle and trapped. As the 4-wall there, the penalty box now emptying out. Derby Groms had 2 blockers in the pack in the penalty box earlier.
And
go ahead. I was going to say star pass because I think the star has been passed off to Trooper for Rose City. trooper now putting it on the helmet. As
makes sense, going in for a scoring pass. Of course, if you do not have the stars visible on your head and you're on a scoring pass, it doesn't matter. You're not getting those points.
And everybody wants points.
Yes.
That's why we're here. It's for points. Cerberus threw for 5 more points. A 15 total jam. And swinging around the outside quickly.
We now have 2 people in the penalty box, 1 each from the teams.
So a 20-point total jam as finally rolling out the front trooper completes the initial, and no points up for Rose City. So Rose City, the early blood, and followed by Santa Cruz with the big 20-point jam.
And we just want to mention our officiating crew for the game. Referee
Alan Your Grill, Scrim Reaper, Doesn't Matter, Lobo Cop, Wes Slamderson, Guinness? I'm going to go with that. Guinness? Probably Guinness, because that would make sense, because that's a beer. And Nelly Flyby. This is a junior bout, but you're a ref. You're allowed to choose a beer for a name, I suppose.
No one wants to argue with a ref.
No,
Come on.
we're not going to make them change their name for a junior bout.
All right, for Santa Cruz, we have Tryon. Doesn't seem to have to try. Gets by with lead jammer status.
Well, we do a number 8 for Rose City. The Rosebuds, I'll see you later with the star in hand. And working out with a double trip up there with Lil Killa.
Yes, and that was an effective star stash. Did not pass it off to the pivot.
Tryon calls off the jam. Collects the 4 points, 24-3.
And there are a number, or rather 2 Santa Cruz Derby Groms aging out this year. One is Kitty Wales after 8 seasons, and then Kenny the Shark, 10 seasons with Santa Cruz. So she's the last of the originals. The group formed in 2009, and so this is quite an ending for Kenny the Shark.
Yeah, Santa Cruz, they have seriously improved over the last several years. Rose City, number 17 jamming. That is Trickster, and Trickster is your lead jammer.
She's flying around turn 2. That whole pack is speeding up right now. Cameras can barely keep up there. And that's not a slight to the camera people, I'm just saying.
They're working hard, but this pack's going fast.
We're seeing that quite a number of times already so early on in the game. Let's see if it will actually stick around as a tactic throughout. But
so Rose City able to grab 2 points. Takes them to 5 total. Santa Cruz 24. That was Marinator with the star on that last jam. And we're back to Bruzella DeVille, I believe, jamming against Tyranny. Hey, I guessed right.
Amazing.
I'm like, I've seen these teams before. I think I know that one.
I have not seen these teams skate before, not live anyway. So this is going to be quite eye-opening. And once again, that speed factor.
Yes. Everybody going super fast and nobody getting any points.
None. It looked as though Tyranny was really thinking she would make it through and at least grab 1 or 2 points, but that call off, even from our vantage point, way up in the rafters, you could tell that wasn't quite.
Not going to work out.
Quite a collection of points there.
No one currently in the penalty box, so all skaters on the track. As we've got Demon Speed jamming against Cerberus.
And Cerberus out on the inside line, turn 1 rather.
And Cerberus lead jammer.
And it looks like Rose City, well, there's a star stash going on, but whether that's a pass or not, we'll see.
There she's trying, and yes, I believe the star has now been completely passed to number 26, Mace of Spades.
But there is a penalty call. I'm just trying to see who
it is.
What.
Yeah.
It's a high block call. That is on a Santa Cruz skater there. And so the star pass is now complete for
So that is
Rose City.
Yep, Mace of Spades with the star as Cerberus rolls through, picking up some points.
If you're just joining us now, Rose City is in the white, Santa Cruz in the black, dark blue. I'm not sure. I can't tell from here.
I think it's technically black. I like the wave, though. That's
yes,
a nice touch.
There we go.
Calls out the surfer heritage of the Santa Cruz Derby Grom shells.
Of course, Groms being some young surfers who like to Shit, I can't say it because I don't live by the ocean anymore. Shred the waves. There we go.
Oh, taken down on the track, Cerberus. And penalty called on the blow. Didn't see if it was a high block or a multiplayer. Could have been either because it was almost a clothesline maneuver. But it did force the call off of the jam. Santa Cruz with 10-8 up for Rose City. So that takes Rose City to 13. Santa Cruz at 38 with 22 minutes to go in the first period.
There are also 2 skaters aging out for Rose City. We have number 360 Big Bang Fury and number 853 Misdemeanor. All right, looks like there's an official timeout being called.
Yeah,
the ref's assessing what's going on.
Nice official gun show. Always good.
Yes, I have done that job, the little hand dance, as I like to call it. I gotta say, you need to have quite a bit of confidence to go out there. You're dancing to your own beat.
Wow, quickly through on the inside edge. Number 62, Tryon jamming for Santa Cruz Derby Grounds.
An effective offensive pinch right off the line. Open that up there. Now we have number 8 for Rose City getting a little caught up, but getting by. That's LCU later on the initial.
And Tryon picks up the 4 points, calls off the jam.
It's going to shut out LCU later. And it is LCU later's first year with the team, the Rose City Rollers.
Yeah, Rose City has a fairly deep developmental portion. They've got younger kids and then the older, so I don't know if she just transferred into the league or has just moved up through the ranks to make the travel team. But
exactly. So first appearance at champs anyhow.
Yes, this is, I believe, Rose City's first appearance as a team at the championship
there
tournament.
We go.
They've been invited in the past but not made the trip. So glad to see more Northwesterners out.
And anytime you have that opportunity, you get growing, especially when you're playing up against a team that is showing and flexing its skill set, as we're seeing right now with Santa Cruz picking up lead there. Marinator.
And Trickster, number 17, jamming for the Rosebuds All-Stars. And forced out of bounds, has to roll back behind the pack. As Marinator also locked up, getting some offensive assistance from 22, Kenny the Shark.
We're seeing the pack slow way down. Rose City coming in with a lot of force up at the top. Knocks out the Santa Cruz jammer, but gets by on a no-earned pass there. And we have a penalty called on number 22 from Santa Cruz.
And also on number 17, Trooper for Rose City, so one blocker down on each side. 5 more points up for Marinator, so that's 9 total on the jam as Trickster was basically pacing her around the inside of the track.
Yes.
I'm like, what is going on? Oh, you
Trickster
got
tried to go in for a hit and then ended up getting knocked to the inside as well.
Trickster now 1 to beat Lil Killa, though, as that last line of defense at the front.
Yeah, you're getting a good view right now on the screen on your left-hand side.
Just like slow you down, hold you steady, don't keep the shoulders down. That's a trick, as Trickster not the tallest skater, and Lil Killa a bit more stature.
Exactly.
You get extra low to avoid the high block.
And it takes so much skill to be that blocker, not initiating in the clockwise direction, because of course that would be a penalty.
Yes. Trickster almost breaking free. Mini Mayhem in the front, but the jam is called. An additional 4 points up, I believe, for Rose City.
A lot of energy expended on both teams for that jam.
So a 13-4 run takes Santa Cruz to 55, Rose City at 17. Just under 19 minutes to go in the period.
And if you want to follow along with the scoring differentials on those passes, if you look underneath the main score, you can see there.
There we go.
All right, so we have the jammer, Santa Cruz jammer number 99 is in the box. Marinator, I did not see that call.
I didn't either. It's too busy looking at the scoreboard where you were pointing things out.
All right, number 4-4 there for Rose City. That's Tyranny. Looking to make use of that power jam.
Tyranny held back 2 at the front, now down to 1 and works around Lil Killa.
Yes, Little Killa making life so difficult for those jammers.
Marinator out of the penalty box and back engaged as Rose City trying to lock down the back of the pack.
Seeing big pack forming here on turn 1, and it's to the advantage of Santa Cruz there.
Except for the blocking with the head penalty called on Tyranny, so power jam now Santa Cruz. Tyranny just leading in a little bit more with the helmet than she should have.
That's all it takes. There
yep.
does not need to be any impact. Anytime the head, which includes collarbone and higher, is at risk at all, is being the leading point of your charge, you are likely going to see that blocking with the head call.
So Marinator through with 5 points on the first pass of this power jam as Tyranny released from the penalty box and coming back into play.
Yeah, made her way around Kid Vicious there on turn 3. The individual blocking skills being displayed on the track so far this game from both teams has just been impressive.
And yeah, not Mesa Spades, Lil Killa there, bumped to the ground, lying down for a second, just waiting for everyone to step over. And it's like, all right, I'm back up now.
Yes.
Finally through with 4 is Tyranny as the jam comes to a close. You see any more for Santa Cruz? I see a direction of play penalty being called. Looks like 3.
And of course, the way that the penalties work is referees have until the next jam if they want to assess a penalty. Perhaps they just need to discuss with a fellow referee. It's quite an intense process when you're in the moment. And all of the officials who are here today have experience, are experienced, and have been making some really great calls throughout the day.
Demon Speed jamming for Rose City, Bruzella DeVille for Santa Cruz. And Bruzella DeVille up the outside line, lead jammer.
Followed closely by Demon Speed. Well, not that closely, about a half track right now.
It felt close.
Yes, it always does.
Bruzella went really quick, and so it ended up not being as close as it seemed. Bruzella DeVille calls off the jam with 4. That takes Santa Cruz to 73. Rose City Rosebuds 26.
We do have 2 standing in the box for Santa Cruz, including the pivot. It's number 26, Mace of Spades.
And don't forget the Derby fun doesn't end on Sunday with our championship games for championships. We got 2 days of World Cup coming up Monday and Tuesday, and you can watch that live on Twitch TV, both Monday and Tuesday, July 23rd and 24th. And it's streaming live.
Free.
It's free on Twitch.
Come on. Roller Derby.
All the cool kids watch the Derby on Twitch.
All right, and we have number 6-2 trying for Santa Cruz
and
with the lead.
Yeah, and LCU later, sorry, jamming for Rose City.
And that was a quick call off. Take full strategic advantage of that.
A quick pass and a quick call off. And fast 4, now 77-26.
We're now a quarter into the first half, or rather we're a quarter into the game.
Winner of this game moves on to a semifinal game tomorrow. That will be the 2 p.m. game, and they will play the winner of our next game on this track, Los Anarchists versus Jacksonville. That should be fun to watch.
And in the meantime, Cerberus takes lead.
And Trickster jamming for Rose City.
We're seeing a lot of quick leads as well, right out of the pack, almost getting assessed lead by the pivot line.
Practically. Yes, Santa Cruz very good at that in the games that I've seen this year. They're super good at that close down and then sneak somebody out, get lead, and then hopefully get the points and call it off. Their defense doing a great job of holding up the Rosebuds as well, as we have had a star pass. I believe it's in the hands of number 26, Mesa Spades.
Getting caught up there on that Santa Cruz line.
Meanwhile, Cerberus threw 2 passes, now a third 5-point pass, 15 total on the jam. As Rose City still working on the initial pass.
just holding her up there between turns 3 and 4.
And Cerberus clears for a 4th run, 20 points, I believe, our highest scoring jam of the game so far.
Seeing a lot of control in this jam, slow.
And Cerberus again through for a 5th pass and willing to just keep the clock running as the defense is holding on.
She decides to call it, yes.
Calls it off with 30 points.
I was saying yes to the calling off part because just as a reminder, if anyone is just joining us now, because I know some of the other announcers have mentioned it, we are looking through a little fence and then some netting, so a bit of an obstructed view. We are also seeing what you're seeing at home, and right now it's set up on the straightaway there. So Black has 100% of the lead. That's Santa Cruz.
Wow. Black 30, number 30,
oh, Black
Cerberus,
number 30, my apologies. Yes,
like, I've got at least a couple that Rose City had. Wait.
Yes, Black 30 has 100% lead so far, 64 points. That is their captain, Cerberus.
Yeah, well, 30 of those points on that last jam. That was crazy. Trying now jamming for Santa Cruz, bouncing off of number 360, Big Bang Fury, and calling off the jam.
And there was a high five there by the Rose City girls, feeling good about shutting that down.
But no score for Rose for the 4th straight jam, as they're stuck at 26, 110 to 26, now 11 and a half minutes to go in the first period. And Bruzella DeVille, I think, lining up against Demon Speed.
And once again, that effective pinch on the inside.
Move.
Swallowing up the negative space, allowed her to get lead before the pivot line. And look, she's right back at to pick up 5 points. Rose City, Demon Speed, navigating the seams there on that wall, gets by on the outside. Oh, that was a star pass, rather.
Yes. Star pass off to number 13, Fulagora, who clears the pack. Jam called off by Santa Cruz. 3 more points up. So a 5 and a 3, 8 total, 118 to 26.
We're seeing some really great uses of the star pass in the female and open divisions of the championship day 1 so far. It's always been a great tool for teams to use. It does come with its challenges. Right now, these skaters make it look easy because they're doing it legally, inbounds, upright, all that stuff. But there are so many ways it can go wrong. And in that moment, Santa Cruz takes lead.
That they do. Cerberus out, continuing the 100% streak. Up against number 8. Number 8 for Rose City is LCU Later. And LCU Later pushed out of bounds, and a forearm penalty called lets her break free to complete the initial pass, but 4 points up for Cerberus. And Cerberus calls off the jam.
So that'll start Santa Cruz with 3 blockers on the track, and their jammer, of course. I've always liked the adage that, of course, a jammer is a blocker with the privilege of leaving the engagement zone to score points.
I like that.
Because it's true, it is a privilege. And you are still a blocker. And there are many times where that can really assist your team if you need to play more defensively. That can come into play.
Yes, saw that at the end of the Angel City FOCO game where Angel City had a narrow lead and the jammer wasn't leading, just went, fine, I'm just playing defense and we're going to lock this down and kill some time and hold on to win.
And then look at that. You end up with 5 blockers.
Exactly.
Taking up even more space on the track. And right now, turn 1 getting crowded there. There was a multiplayer call assessed to number 4-3 on white, which is Madel Weiss.
And Trickster lead jammer Rose City Rollers. By my count, that's their first lead since what, jam 4, somewhere in there? So finally pushing their way through and not yielding to that squish maneuver of Santa Cruz.
And we'll
see whether there are any points. I saw Trickster forced out of bounds, and I don't see anything going up on the board. Hey, if you have questions or comments about what you're hearing and the awesome action you are seeing, use the hashtag #TalkToJRDA. That's the number 2 in the middle. Talk number 2 JRDA. Chat with us on the Twitters. And don't forget to follow the JRDA on Twitter using @JRDA_rocks.
We have an official timeout. You know, we haven't given love to the NSOs. Those are our non-skating officials. And, of course, we would not be able to do Derby with any of the volunteers, and that's pretty much everyone here today. We have NSO crew TBD, Dano, Guacamole, D. Baggins, Obi-Wan Canopy?
Canopy? Sure.
Mr. Sir Guy, BFG, Mean Bean, and Honey Badger.
Some excellent officiating crews on both sides.
Working long days.
Yes.
And
long days, sweating a lot, but
yes,
having a good time, hopefully.
It's really warm outside. It always starts nice inside the venues and then just starts to cook a little. But that's okay.
It's all right. You know, it'll work.
And Scott, we got some exciting stuff coming up as well.
We do have some you also have some exciting. In fact, all three of us at this table have exciting stuff, but Gretchen's not listening in, so she's just over there, doing whatever it is she's doing. The WFTDA Continental Cup's coming up this summer, and they are streaming live on WFTDA.tv. We will start off with North American East from Kalamazoo, Michigan. That's August 17th through 19th, hosted by Kalamazoo Derby Darlings. Then the three of us head to Omaha. That's in Nebraska, in case you're not aware. In case you'd plan to go to some other Omaha. Don't do that. Omaha, Nebraska, North America West, the 2018 Continental Cup hosted by Omaha Roller Girls. That's August 24th through 26th. And the final Continental Cup in Europe hosted by Birmingham Blitz Dames, October 27th through the 28th. Your watch passes go on sale July 31st. Stay tuned. That's going to be fun.
That's going to be a lot of fun. And guess what? That first one in Kalamazoo, that's less than a month away.
I know. That's super
quick,
too. Aren't you going to be in Kalamazoo? No?
I will not be. I will be in Omaha. I forgot which state that's in for a second. I'm kidding. Nebraska. All right, back to the action.
Let's try and jamming and lead jammer for Santa Cruz. And I believe number 13 now has the star.
That's why I was looking for the star out there, and it's definitely in the pivot's hand.
Tyranny started with the star and then has passed it off to Fulagora. Meanwhile, Tryon, number 62, tied up at the front.
Seeing very well-executed bridges as well throughout this game. Have not heard a no-pack call yet.
No, and the jammer's doing a good job of shoving people forward. And, yeah, those skaters just sliding back. Fulagora bump to the inside, has to recycle back, and Santa Cruz waiting with the tripod. They stretched it back as far as they could and quickly regrouping.
And now we get a bit of a zoom out so we can see there the Santa Cruz jammer getting out. 5 points for that effort. And that was quite an effort. It took her a while to make it through turns 3 and 4 to get out of the engagement zone.
And Fulagora almost clear, but the little booty check from Will Killa. A crusher of dreams. Hip checking her into the infield. And again on
That's
the outside.
Number 2-6.
Yeah, Will Killa. She is killing it on the line. Meanwhile, at the front, trying just pushing, just on the sled.
Wait a minute. How do you get a name like Little Killa when you're that tall? Come on.
She's probably been playing for 5 or 6 years. She's tiny when she started.
Fair. I just haven't grown in a very long time.
Exactly.
So.
Seattle Derby Brad's fist fight used to be Lil Fist Fight, and then she decided she wasn't Lil anymore, so she got rid of that.
There you go. That makes sense. All right. Trying.
Finally calling the jam off. 15 points showing on the scoreboard. Wait, maybe they didn't call it. I thought they called the jam off. And then
you know what it is? It's the whistle bleed from the other venue, and it can be so, it almost sounds like it's right by your ear.
I know, and it distracted the skaters, too, because they were coming out like, hey, wait, I thought this was done, but no.
A little bit of confusion there in the track. As we mentioned, the Open Division game is going on right now, too, so if you are interested in checking that game out, it's also going to be at WFTDA.tv.
That it is, and your watch pass covers both tracks. All the roller derby you could want.
Plus, something happened here. There's going to be a review, is what it looks like.
All the official timeouts you can eat. 15 points showing for Santa Cruz in the last jam. Takes them to 137. Rose City still trapped at 26.
Now we talked about the Continental Cups. Let's talk about the 2018 International WFTDA playoffs. Those begin August 31st through September 2nd in beautiful A Coruña, Spain, and it's hosted by As Brigantias Roller Derby. Then we head to Atlanta, Georgia for the second playoff hosted by Atlanta Roller Girls, September 21st through the 23rd. And finally, Scott, the 2018 International WFTDA Championships will be hosted by Big Easy Roller Girls, November 9th through the 11th in New Orleans, Louisiana. Tickets for that, for all playoffs, are available now.
Wow.
WFTDA.com/tournaments. We've got a couple skaters sitting down on the track.
Just chilling, hanging out.
It's not often
Take
you
a
see that
breather.
in a game, but yes, you're allowed to do that.
Like, you adults are talking. I'm just going to lie down for a while.
And sometimes official reviews or timeouts can last a while, but this one seems to be wrapping up right about now.
And Brazella DeVille damming against Demon Speed. And Brazella looking to both sides. Demon Speed caught up at the back, and Brazella DeVille out first, the lead jammer.
Yes, Demon Speed getting caught up on Kenny the Shark. Remember, that's our 10-year veteran there from Santa Cruz.
Brazella DeVille working around the outside of the main body of the pack. Waterfall forward by Rose, but not able to stop her 5 points up.
Rose City being very effective when they can keep that wall tight and together, and now we're seeing offensive work by Little Killa coming in to stop that from happening.
And another star pass for Rose City as Mesa Spades now wearing the star, number 26.
Still needs to fight through the pack, though.
Yes, not able to complete that nice over-the-pack star pass that gets the pivot breaking free really quickly.
Gets some offense help there, but still not enough to get free.
So Brazella DeVille on a third 5-point power pass.
And having that Santa Cruz line recycle in front.
And Brazella jumping the apex, lands it, and then plows into her own team to sort of slow down, like cushion the blow. I'll just hit you.
Yes, of course you can.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do a lot to your team without.
I'm not back blocking you. You're not allowed to cushion my fall. 5 more, taking Brazella to 25. She's trying to chase down Cerberus with that 30-point jam from earlier in the half.
Still, we have a teammate checking on
Mesa Spades
Brazella DeVille.
It's Mesa Spades taking a heavy shoulder and being checked into by Big Bang Fury, and Brazella DeVille heading to the penalty box.
Yes, sorry, I said Brazella DeVille. 101 is in the box.
Yes, she is. Brazella DeVille heading to the penalty box right at the end. It didn't catch the penalty, so
yes.
25 plus 3 more points. Is that a 3 little wavy fingers coming from our jam ref, I believe?
It'll be the first power start for the Rose City Rollers.
Yes.
Another official timeout being called.
We've got 3 minutes, 4 seconds to go in the period.
There was a lot that happened in that jam because people were being pushed this way, the other way. Rose City getting caught up, swallowed back. This is where mental play is so important, and we know that across every league in roller derby, mental play is now a very prominent discussion that's happening. How do you keep up in that way when you go to the penalty box or you keep getting people recycled in front? We're seeing the star passes. That's one way to be effective. Of course, the most effective star pass is if your pivot is just in that sweet spot ahead of the pack and you can make the pass legally.
And
great.
Break them free really fast. Yep.
But that doesn't always happen. I know. I've been in both of those positions, and it doesn't always work.
So Rose City currently trailing 26-169 as our official timeout is complete. The refs have discussed what they're going to discuss. The coaches have checked in with the teams. And we've got our first power start for Rose City.
And we're starting up at the pivot line right now.
This, I think, is only our third jammer penalty.
And they're going to
overall.
speed it up a little bit. Little Killa. And number 80, Santa Cruz, that's Sunkissed.
And we've got Trooper with the star
Yep.
for Rose City and clear and lead jammer.
Gets through. Still has some time. Jammer for Santa Cruz standing, has the helmet cover in her hand.
Trooper swings around the outside, met by the Santa Cruz pack at the front. And Brazella DeVille out of the penalty box and cutting through quickly. Completes the initial pass.
Aided a bit by some distraction and not having the star on her helmet.
Yep. Which is a good trick if it works, and it worked perfectly there. Trooper calls off the jam. I'm seeing 5 fingers up. So first points for Rose City in 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 jams. Yeah, Santa Cruz holding steady on the defense and getting that good get lead and call it off quickly. Or call it off not quickly while you're still holding them back. So now we have Cerberus jamming against Trickster. And Cerberus out again as lead.
Meanwhile, Trickster, yes, finding the inside line there.
Cerberus forced to the infield, slides in safe, calls off the jam.
Saying yes sometimes just to confirm that what I'm seeing is correct. This is moving so fast sometimes.
Right.
And it also seems that both teams have adjusted well to the floor. We noticed a lot more slipping a little earlier on. Of course, Santa Cruz hadn't played yet on the floor. This is their first game of the day, whereas Rose City has already played one full game.
And now Tryon jamming against Demon Speed. And Tryon pushing out the front, lead jammer. Demon Speed, that's not Demon Speed, that's Tyranny.
Looks like Tyranny,
I read the
yes.
name and didn't look at the shirt.
We do what we can.
Yeah, they fooled the scorekeepers.
We're a little number blind up here, so it's all good.
Exactly.
And Tyranny is out on her initial. Does not get any points for that effort there.
No, Santa Cruz picking up 4 and calling off the jam, and we are down to 19 seconds in the period clock. And we'll see if anyone calls a timeout, as there is a little bit more time on the jam break. I think Rose looks like they're ready to call it for the half.
Jam timer calling 5 seconds.
But the jam clock on the
There
scoreboard
we
has
go.
ended.
Yes. Looks like
they're having
we're
a
going to
debate
be
over, there's the whistle. I'm like, hold on, mister, you've got your official clock is on the wall, right?
And it looks like our halftime is already rolling. As official as I wish it was.
No, not quite. And back there's some other game that's going on. They got like 24 minutes to go.
Yes. Learning all the things.
So Santa Cruz taking control and just sort of owning lead jammer. We'll get the total stats in a bit, but they felt like they were lead most of the time, cut some things off fairly quickly.
That effective short jams. How many jams did we get up to? We got up to 21 in one half.
Right, so a few going long, but generally reasonably short, and we are sitting 176-31.
At the half. Of course, we're going to come back with more action. The 2018 Junior Roller Derby Association Championships in Feasterville, Pennsylvania.
All right. Hey, we're back.
Yes, we are.
For the second half of Santa Cruz versus Rose City.
And every time I have to move Scott just a little closer.
Like,
hey, don't go anywhere.
Sorry.
So we can greet all of you and welcome you back to the second half, Game 5. This is day 1 of the 2018 Junior Roller Derby Association Championships. Game 5, of course, being between Santa Cruz, seeded first, and Rose City Rollers, seeded number 8.
Looking at the penalty board, the Grom's having almost double the penalties of Rose City. Rose has 10, nobody with more than 2. Santa Cruz has 19 total. They've got Minnie Mayhem and Kenny the Shark each have 4. Little Killa has 5.
Okay.
So Little Killa needs to
We'll have to be on the
careful.
watch out for that.
Watch for penalties there, but as you can see on the scoreboard, those penalties not super affecting the overall score. I expected at least coming in that Santa Cruz, as you said, number 1 seed. They're ranked number 1. They should be winning the game, and they are. But Rose City doing some good things. They're having some solid defense on a couple of, especially on the second pass and third passes. It's that first, you mentioned earlier, the Santa Cruz offense just closing things down and getting out really quickly.
Getting out lead oftentimes, if not before or by the pivot line. Now, Rose City being very effective in understanding when they don't have a lead, let's take the star off the helmet.
Right.
Let's do something to try to stop them from scoring more than just one pass, more than just 4 points.
Right.
And so that's what we are seeing from Rose City. We're also looking at a second half that could see some gameplay adjustment. That's always what happens usually. Okay, well, we see kind of a style developing. Now that's, of course, if Santa Cruz continues the play that they're doing right now.
Right, yeah, or if they decide to change things up, who knows? They've gone with about a 3 jammer rotation. I think, is it 3 or 4 somewhere in there? 62, 99, 101, about 4 jammers. The top scorers have been number 30 Cerberus and number 101 Bruzella DeVille, both with big jams in that second half. We had 30 points for Cerberus and like 28 for Bruzella.
Yes.
As they had a couple of not even power jams, just lockdown defense on the Santa Cruz side.
And that's the thing. We saw that rotation and the recycling and the swallowing up again and again and again. Tires, jammers out. Rose City having already played a game today.
Right.
They earned the spot to face off against Santa Cruz. So that's a big deal.
And the winner of this will move on to our first semifinal tomorrow at 2 p.m. They will play the winner of our next game, which will be very interesting. The 4 versus 5 Los Anarchists versus Jacksonville Junior Roller Derby. They played once this year, and I think Los Anarchists came out ahead. We'll see. I know Jacksonville's always pushing to get the, I guess, technically upset because they're the lower seed, but looking for the win.
And Rose City and Santa Cruz have not faced each other this season, so this is their first time doing that. Now, in the past 3 seasons, they have faced off 4 different times, Santa Cruz taking the win 3 of those times. Now, the loser of this game will play tomorrow, 6 o'clock. That's 6 Eastern. The winner of Game 8. So that would be tomorrow's Game 8.
Right.
So I'm getting a little ahead of myself.
12 o'clock in the
Basically, stick around and we'll tell you who to watch. And it looks like the action is now underway on the track.
It is, with Demon Speed taking on the jammer duties for Rose City, and Bruzella DeVille jamming for Santa Cruz. And you get to watch us while this is going on because the guy on the scissor lift had to bring it back down for, I don't know, battery change.
So you can see the very exciting eye movements that we make on screen as we watch Cerberus take 4 points around the track. That was a no-earned pass that happened there.
And Demon Speed also clear of the pack and moving around as Bruzella DeVille coming through on the second pass, cuts through the pack, calls off the jam.
Not sure who was initiating that speeding pack there.
But it was sped up and it was going well.
And you can hear that scissor lift in the background possibly.
Now it's going back up.
Yeah, there we go.
Maybe you'll have to stop staring at us. Who knows what will happen?
It's riveting, I'm sure.
It is. You can
and
also keep track.
Bangs
you keep track on the time to Derby on the other track where they're down to
we've also got our
11 minutes.
Crew over there, Tool Time, Bobby Narco.
Just getting ready. As there's an official timeout on the track, we're going to get ready to jam. The next one, I believe, that will be Tyranny, set to jam for Rose City.
If worst case scenario happens, we can always reenact some of the action.
Do we have some miniatures? Can we just like move people around on a board? We can draw it up on a circle.
Now I know Scott Chicken and I are having fun, but our crews who've been doing a phenomenal job all day, right now they're just having a little bit of technical issues. So hence why our faces are on the screen. We will bring you what we can. Right now there's nothing happening on the track.
You're not missing anything.
So you're all good. It's an official timeout. So it kind of worked out well.
It did. We can tell you about something, though.
We certainly can. Let's just... Cup, because the action keeps going, the Junior Roller Derby action. So live on twitch.tv this Monday and Tuesday, the Junior Roller Derby World Cup streamed live by WFTDA. So if you head to twitch.tv/WFTDA you can watch both days for free.
That will be a good one. You got 6 different teams: Europe, Team Great Britain, Australia, Canada, USA West, USA East. 6-team round robin on Monday.
And many of them are already in the building.
I've had the pleasure these teams.
Yes, yeah. Exactly. I've had the pleasure of hearing a number of different accents walking around.
It has been
it's
good.
Quite lovely. Yeah.
Yep. And then the Tuesday will be a bracketed tournament based on the outcomes of Monday's round robin.
So just a lot of derby. It's going to be a blast, that's for sure. And a reminder, of course, that if you would like to tell us about what you're watching, how you're watching it, and just some of the awesome action you're seeing this weekend, use the hashtag #Talk2, that's the number 2, JRDA. You can chat with us on Twitter. Don't forget to follow JRDA on Twitter using their Twitter handle. That's at JRDA_rocks, ROCKS.
All right, we thought the official review was, or official timeout was done, but now I think I see the scoreboard computer is having some issues. It looks good on the screen here, and it looks good on the screen up there, but the screen down there is blue, and that's not what a computer screen is supposed to look like, I don't think.
That does not bode well.
No.
But I don't want to be negative.
No.
At least the camera's not on us anymore, Scott.
There you go. That's a better thing. They did take a picture of the scoreboard and now are showing it to the guy for whenever it boots back up.
Now, this is the second last game on this track. The next game, as you mentioned, supposed to take place at 8 o'clock tonight, and that's the Los Anarchists against the Jacksonville Junior Roller Derby.
And that will that game and this one will close out our bracket for tomorrow.
Certainly will.
The winner of that takes on the winner of this.
This is the female division. That action gets underway starting tomorrow at 10 a.m.
The open division starts an hour earlier tomorrow. They start at 9.
Yeah, they do the
days.
odd hours. That's the only way I remember and keep track of it. They are the odd hours, and female division's the even hours. Let me take a look on Twitter right now, see if we have folks chatting about the action, or perhaps
saying, why is this game stopped?
Yes, it's not stopped for any other reason than a little bit of technical issues, which happens from time to time. All right, and a reminder while we wait for some things to load here that there is some amazing high-level derby happening around the corner less than a month from now, the 2018 WFTDA Continental Cups. They will be streamed live right where you're watching this right now, WFTDA.tv. And this starts with the North America East from Kalamazoo, Michigan, August 17th through 19th. It's hosted by the Kalamazoo Derby Darlings. Then we head to Omaha, Nebraska for North America West.
Woohoo!
And that's hosted by Omaha Roller Girls. Scott Chicken giving a woohoo because myself and Scott and Gretchen, who's our stats production guru right now, will be there August 24th through 26th. And then our final Continental Cup will be in Europe, hosted by Birmingham Blitz Dames, October 27th through the 28th. Watch passes will go on sale July 31st. So stay tuned.
Computer on the scoring table continuing to have a blue screen and a spinning wheel of doom.
Just giant kudos right now to the official on the track who's holding his arms. Yeah, there we go. We're starting to see the circles with the. It's hard.
Going to get a relief.
Work.
I thought we saw another official walk in. I'm like, is that they're going to tap out, like tag off, like a tag team match?
A
get
good
someone else
friend
to do
would do that, but I don't think that's happening.
Someone else to do the gun show.
I think what's being said is, don't worry about it. We need to make sure that this is taking place. All right, so
I think we all know it's an official timeout.
The teams are chatting.
Yes, good thing with Junior Derby, everybody does generally get along reasonably well, so they hang out and they chat.
Now, Scott, you were saying that you have some familiarity with these teams. Have you seen some of them playing this season?
I have seen them play this season because I am in Seattle and have seen both teams play. Saw the Derby Grounds played in a tournament down in Los Angeles with the Seattle Derby Brats in Angel City and the Inland Northwest Pixies. And I think the Grounds were 2-1 in that. And then at the Big O, again, both teams played. They didn't play each other there, but they did play amongst the other teams. And I believe the Groms were 3-0 at the Big O, and I think Rose City might have been 2-1. I guess I could probably look at this score sheet and see what they did, but that would require some thinking. Let's see. So, yeah, they lost to Angel City and Seattle Derby Brats at the Big O, and they beat the California Mayhem Bakersfield Junior Roller Derby female division team.
All right, a quick update on the technical issues. There is another laptop being brought to the table.
We have pulled up the backup laptop.
Of course, we're being sneaky announcers here. We have quite a vantage point being up in the middle. It's such a great setup here, Scott Chicken, because the broadcast streams are set up back to back. As we were pointing out a little earlier, the open divisions being behind us there, right in the middle of the sportsplex. Exactly. So it allows us to see the tracks on both sides. Action happening, of course, just shifted by an hour, staggered by an hour between open and female divisions. Scott, one of the things that we're seeing right now is the referee huddle. And I was so curious about what happens there, I decided to take a WFTDA ref clinic last weekend. Also because I wanted to know what they see. I'd never done anything to the point of really understanding their vantage points. You know, it's so easy if you're in the crowd or even as an announcer, you might think you see something.
Right. Oh, I saw that call. That was clearly you missed that.
Maybe. Right. But there's so many things going on, and so just gives a whole new level of respect to skating officials. I've done non-skating official work too, and I'm sure a lot of people have. Such an incredible and important part of any league is having trusted NSOs. But yes, the huddle. I wanted to know what they talked about.
So what do you suppose they're talking about now? After party, where they're going to go for snacks? Or are they talking about technology? And man, why don't we have a laptop that didn't break?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're curious about announcing and they would like to join our team. Who knows?
No, that's an excellent question. I have a friend that was a ref and shifted to announcing. Actually, a couple refs do announce on occasion. And the first game that this friend of mine who had been a ref, the first game that he announced, partway through he had to stop talking because he couldn't not comment on the referee.
It's hard to shut off your brain.
Right.
Totally.
So he was like, "All right, I'm going to step down for now."
And then one of the things that refs do amazingly is, if they've got a lot of experience under their belt, especially, is the nonverbal communication. I have a problem with that usually. I like to talk, so we end up with that.
We want to go to
We're contemplating bringing you some advertisement as this gets fixed. We do want to thank, of course, all the volunteers involved with this event so far.
All right, so we're going to take a little break while they fix the computers so you can watch some fine sponsors, perhaps purchase some skate gear.
Nice move on the inside.
Beautiful spin move right there.
They're playing this game to the bitter end. It was a great one-on-one battle up front.
Grabbing for some room on the outside.
Taken to the skies.
Just dancing around that curve.
Finds her way through.
Oh, shoulder hit. Beautiful.
Big takeout right there.
Are you not entertained?
Yes.
You do not want to miss a minute.
Express yourself with skates in your colors, your style. Color Lab is an exclusive service from Rydell Skates. Choose from over 35 premium, metallic, and suede Color Lab leather colors. Select stitching color, eyelet color, and even logo colors. All Rydell boot models are available to customize with Color Lab. Start designing your dream boots now with our interactive online Color Lab studio, or visit a Rydell dealer today. Express yourself with Color Lab from Rydell Skates.
Hi everyone, I'm here with Bonnie Thunders, and I'm gonna ask her a few questions. Are you okay with me asking you a couple questions?
Absolutely.
Is it true that Gotham loaned the sport court for this tournament?
That is true. That big old blue floor is Gotham Girls Roller Derby's floor.
Okay, got it. On to the next question. Are you checking out your competition with Texas and London and Bay Area or Montreal?
I mean, if we drove 6 hours to get here, we might as well see what everyone else has too. So, yes.
Okay. On to the next question.
It's a bonus game like Are we back yet? We're getting there. It does look like a score. Yeah. Maybe not. All right, we're back up. Helps to look at the camera, at the screen, and see that we're seeing the score again. And they do have a new computer. And I think it was actually showing a scoreboard.
Oh.
You're going to give people a little warm-up time, let them skate around in a circle. Or
yes,
an oval, technically.
You need that for sure. No, you could say that's what everyone says.
It says circle, do they? All right.
Oh, you do roller derby. You race around in circles. No,
Technically, it's an oval that's wider at the outside.
it's
than
not.
this
It's not. Probably I'm a buzzkill for a lot of people when I get too technical about it. Well, it's not quite that we just elbow people in the face. We do a lot of other things. Now, that's not to make light of anyone. Anyone who takes an interest in roller derby, I'm a fan of. So,
Just not a fan of being elbowed in the face.
not a fan of assuming that's all we do,
Right.
especially when it's highly illegal to be doing that. So I can only imagine if I were to ever become a referee, the technical speak would just be through the roof at this point. Well, no, that's really an infraction.
Exactly.
Okay, and actually, why don't we remind everyone who our officials are, Scott
Let's
Chicken,
do
because
that.
they have also been working really hard, been up the whole day skating or NSOing as well.
So our skating officials, referee Alan Your Grill, Scrim Reaper, Doesn't Matter, Lobocop, Wes Slamderson, Guinness, and Nelly Flyby. And your non-skating officials, TBD, Dano, Guacamole, D. Baggins, Obi-Wan Canapé, Mr. Sir Guy, BFG, Mean Bean, and Honey Badger, with a lot of letters, numbers, and special characters in there. Looks kind of like, you know, what I would put in as a password and then find out that those aren't as secure as I think they are.
Oh, I hope those aren't. That isn't her password for everything.
That would be pretty awful. Hey, I'm going to use, and now I've given it away. Great.
Oh, there we go. Now, of course, there's still plenty of time in this half. We only just got started in it when things went a little awry technically. So there's still 28 minutes, 48 seconds left of play in this half alone. Coming into it, first seed Santa Cruz, 184. If you're just joining us, they're the team in black. And the Rose City Rollers, they're in white, seeded 8th.
That they are, yes. Got to the end of the first jam and the computers blew up.
Sorry.
So if you're tuning in early to watch Los Angeles versus Jacksonville, enjoy the end of this game as soon as they're done warming up for a bit, and I'm guessing that will go off a little bit late.
Yes, this might seem a little strange if you're just joining us.
You're like, what is this group skate?
Yeah, we're doing a 20-person jam. No,
We're going to cram jams 2, 3, and 4 together and run them all at once.
All right, and we do want to say a big thank you to our officials, to all the volunteers. We also have some outstanding photographers as well.
That we do. They put in a lot of work. Have to between the shooting and the editing. I did some photography for Derby early in the early days, and eventually was like, I can't keep up.
Wow.
You'd go into a tournament, and
there's just thousands of images.
Hey,
all
look,
right.
a game's going on.
Look at that. We have Tyranny out for Rose City Rollers, getting lead.
And actually, I think Cerberus has the lead as they're pointing. They came out almost exactly at the same time.
That's where I was getting a little confused. course, lead does not mean that you have to be in front always. Yeah, you can have it assessed because you've passed all of the blockers in the pack appropriately. Does not mean you necessarily got out of the pack first. All right, that's 4 points for Cerberus, and she's had enough about that.
Yep, she waited for her blocker, Lil Killa, to get out of the penalty box.
Now, both teams up to full strength. Penalty box cleared.
And I'm going to say that may have been Lil Killa's 6th penalty because she was sitting on 5 at the half.
Yes.
So unless that came late, well, no, it wasn't. She wouldn't have been sitting for a full jam in a bit.
And if you get 7 penalties, you are out of the game. We've seen it already once today in the female division. Player fouled out.
Next up on the line for jam number 3 as they slowly work their way around number 62 Tryon jamming for Santa Cruz.
And then for Rose City, number 8 LCU later. Multiplayer penalty assessed to pivot of Santa Cruz there.
That's number 80 Sunkissed heading to the penalty box. As Tryon around the outside, lead jammer.
Took them a little while, about 30 seconds into the jam to assess a lead jammer, so the defensive line's really hunkering down.
And LCU later also clears the pack. Swings around to the outside and bumped out of bounds as Tryon is through with 4 more points.
And the Rose City Jammer assessed a penalty. I did not see that call, but on the way to the penalty box.
So power jam for Santa Cruz as Tryon forced to the infield has to roll back behind the pack. Now Santa Cruz moving forward to conduct a little offensive maneuvers.
And successfully clears the lanes 1 and 2 for their jammer.
So 5 points up for Tryon. Calls off the jam, blocking number 8 LCU later in the penalty box.
And in that situation, we saw some very effective offense. They waited for the jammer. They said, do you need us? Oh, looks like you do, and then stepped in to do that. And it's important to recognize those decisions on the track. These are junior level, or in the junior division, if you will, skaters, but in no way are they necessarily junior level. So many years experience, some of the veterans on Santa Cruz, 10 years of playing derby.
That they are, and speaking of veterans, jamming number 101, Bruzella DeVille. He's clear and lead jammer. And stepping through the front, grabbing the quick 5 points, or 4 points rather.
Multiplayer called. Assessed to number 5-3 on Santa Cruz, Sugar Smacks.
And LCU later out of the penalty box through the pack and forcing the call off a 4-4 run for Santa Cruz takes them to 205. Rose City held at 34.
Saw a little t-shirt assist, if you will, on turn 1 over here.
The classic shirt whip.
Yes. All right, we have Trickster lining up for Rose City. Santa Cruz trying to take away all negative space for Rose City on that starting wall.
That they are, and that is number 99, Marinator, jamming for the Derby Grounds, but lead jammer to Trickster.
And there was a, first lead of the half for Rose City, a star pass. Santa Cruz, they do not want to have any time wasted. Trickster feeling good about that effort there. Quick little spin around, calling it off. Getting high fives from the bench.
Yes, 4 points up for Rose City, 38 now on the game, 206 for Santa Cruz. And that will be number 44, Tyranny, jamming for Rose City. And just off the screen, so I can't see the arm. For Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz rushing back to the jammer line with their wall, creating a bit of distance for their jammer to get through and get lead.
And that is Cerberus jamming for Santa Cruz and a lead as well.
We have 1 in the box for both Rose City and Santa Cruz.
And Cerberus hits the gap, calling off the jam the whole time. Grabs both the hips all the way through.
Hard hit.
Yeah.
But appears to be legal. No penalties being assessed by the referees. Seeing the blockers setting up on the pivot line. We've seen this a number of times today. And the official
timeout.
Calling a timeout. We've seen this before.
Oh, the door open.
There are special doors, and it has to do with a latch. It's a safety issue. So that's the jam timer saying, no, we're stopping this so that we can correct that. Safety, of course, being the #1 priority for all officials.
Because that's within, I think that wall is like at the 15-foot mark, and so they have to keep it. If it's open, then someone will trip and fall in, and they don't want that.
Speaking of tripping, there's a big spill here on turn 1.
But number 62 trying.
And already trying on her scoring pass here.
Yeah, and jamming for Rose City's number 8, LCU later, who got hung up and pushed to the outside, but back in play and working through is trying, spinning on the inside edge.
LCU later, also first year with this team, Rose City Rollers.
And LCU later finally clear, trying also out with points, calls off the jam. A 5-0 run to 13-38.
Scott Chicken, I know we talked about it before, just because we're seeing the team letting us know who some of their newer skaters are does not mean they have not been with the league for a longer time. It's just their first time, wearing that uniform, being with that team, and the first appearance here at the Junior Roller Derby Association Championships for the Rose City Rollers.
Yep, both of these teams with some developmental lower level skaters that work their way up before joining the charter team. And rolling out the front, Bruzella DeVille jamming for Santa Cruz, lead jammer Demon Speed with the star.
Very effective star pass there. Pivot right at the front of the pack. Let's take it quickly. Coming around on her initial pass.
And that is Fulagora now with the star. As Bruzella DeVille out the front of the pack, taps the hips, calls off the jam. Collecting the 4 points.
And the penalty box is all cleared by the end of that jam too.
So they're a case where the Rose City Star Pass effectively did keep points away because she managed to get it out before Bruzella came through on the scoring pass.
Yes. That's always what you're trying to do. I mean, it's a great feeling when you can get by and also pick up some points.
Mm-hmm.
I say that as a skater, and I'm often more of a relief jammer as it is, and so that's usually my goal as well.
Trickster with the star for Rose City.
We have a back block penalty assessed to
number 99, your jammer Marinator.
So that gives Rose City a power jam. Trickster, having earned lead her last time out, looking to do the same, but getting caught up on, not getting caught up on anyone, using her toe stops to get by on turn 2, picking up lead jammer status.
And keeping the toes inbounds. And all's good as Trickster now on the scoring pass, forced out of bounds. A no pass, no penalty / no, what was the term you were using earlier? No earned pass, that was it. Being signaled for the getting bumped in the foot going out, and then this other skater going out as well. As Marinator out of the penalty box and back engaged, pushing against the Rose City defense.
No earned pass, meaning yes, you physically passed them, but
you didn't earn anything for it.
Yes, you did not earn a point.
Trickster picks up 4, calls off the jam.
Trickster also has Rose's only leads of the second half.
Wow.
Big thank you to Gretchen, who is taking care of stats and production for this game. Sitting quietly by my side.
Tracking the things that we don't see or can't track.
Can you believe it? Announcers are usually quiet on our breaks.
I know.
We need a break. All right.
Stop talking for once. Number 30, Cerberus, is your lead jammer for Santa Cruz.
Meanwhile, Rose City navigating turn 1, trying to get by that wall.
That's LCU later with Star for Rose City and trying to go through the middle of the tripod, but
working the seams, now looking for a pivot to pass that Star to, or perhaps using the stash confusion, as I like to call it, to get by, and it works. Almost gets knocked to the outside and dragged back. Still has the Star in hand.
Cerberus on a second scoring pass, picked up 5 on the first, also forced out to the outside.
A little bit of a spill there on the straightaway between turns 2 and 3.
Number 13, Fulagora, had been in the penalty box, now released back into the wild.
And we can see here how the pack is starting to stretch a bit, and there was that effective Star pass for the Rose City Rollers. Oh, no, it was not. I believe it's been ruled incomplete.
Incomplete, or
or did
the
it happen?
jam was called, I think.
Yes.
So
it's tough, as we mentioned before. We're hearing lots of noise from the other tracks.
a lot of different whistles, a lot of different pointings, but Fulagora out of the penalty box, goes, gets the Star, forces the call off. Excellent work by the pivot.
And on that little mess up that I had, thinking that the Star Pass was incomplete, for the amount of times Rose City has been pulling out the Star Pass tactic, they've been very effective at it, which is that it's one of those moves that you need to practice. You need to know that you're doing it. Great communication as well.
Santa Cruz with Tryon jamming, Demon Speed jamming for Rose City.
That wall has just been so hard to navigate, those seams being tight. We have a failure to reform call. Have not been seeing many pack-related calls this game at all. That was assessed to Rose City.
Yep, number 17, Trooper picking up that penalty.
And Santa Cruz getting caught up. Some Rose City skaters and then her own skaters too. But gets by to finish that trip through the pack. 5 points for those efforts.
So Tryon picking up 5, calling off the jam. We tick down to 16 and a half minutes to go in the game. 2:32 to 44.
Santa Cruz has, or rather Rose City has 1 skater in the box, as we mentioned, Trooper. They'll be starting 3 blockers out there. 1 jammer, both jammers out there.
And the
Trickster.
winner again moves on to our 2 p.m. game tomorrow to face the winner of Los Anarchists versus Jacksonville.
We see the quick shoot back there of the Santa Cruz wall, creating a bit of a pack issue. We have a cut track penalty assessed, though, to Trickster.
Oh, and Trickster misses the chair on the way into the penalty box, and down goes the chair, and it runs into the timer, and maybe an extra. I can't tell if the chair broke or if she just missed it. In any case, Marinator is your jammer and lead jammer, and picking up points. 4 points up for Marinator on that pass.
Either way, that chair movement cost her some time, because of course your time only starts once your butt is seated in the chair.
And could, I was going to say could have caused an extra penalty, but did not, as the official stands her up and now calls for an official timeout.
A little bit of confusion happening here, but Santa Cruz deciding to call it off so they can have the power start.
And that 9 points takes Santa Cruz to 241. Rose City held at 44.
So we have to see what comes, if anything, of that chair push. Anything that could possibly jeopardize the safety of a skating official, because, of course, the NSOs stand behind those chairs, could risk a possible additional penalty or something even more severe.
Yes, it could risk a penalty, could risk an ejection. We'll see how they treat it.
I can say as a skater, it's something you just never want that big.
Right.
Most of the time, I don't know, I've never seen, even in my announcing side of things, a skater intentionally set out to harm. But
right.
if you are not controlled or you're not paying attention,
then that's the you're supposed to be in control of your body, and if you're not and the chair moves into it, it could lead to some issues. So I am seeing number 17, Trickster, has left the penalty box. Tyranny has the star on and is standing in the penalty box.
So it looks like a substitute in there.
It is a substitution. I did see our head ref, Alan Grill, talking to the coaches. He's now coming over to talk to the house announcer, so maybe we'll get to hear what this is, but I'm gonna... Yes, go out on a limb, and from what I'm hearing from the house announcer, there has been an expulsion for Trickster for, again, coming in hot and bumping the chair into the jam timer, or the penalty timer.
It's a really big deal. Anything that puts your non-skating officials or your skating officials in jeopardy. Of course, one thing referees don't wear, or most often don't wear, mouth guards, because you're whistling, you're talking.
Right.
So they're down a piece of safety equipment. Your non-skating officials aren't wearing safety equipment at all.
Nothing in the league. Yes, exactly. So again, an unintentional foul, but it is them's the rules, and that's what happens. So Trickster has been ejected from the game.
So we'll see if that tightens up Rose City's jammer rotation, or perhaps brings in another jammer to the situation. An official review being called, or time official
just
timeout?
straight up timeout for Santa Cruz.
Okay.
They didn't get
That's
enough timeout when the scoreboard error went down. They're like, we need more time.
No, that was barely a timeout. That was like a second half time right there. It's hard to tell. Right now our screen says timeout. Gretchen saying it could be an official review.
I think he's making the T. It's just sort of sideways from where we're sitting.
There we go.
So it's hard to see. Meanwhile, there's a lot of noise from the other track because they got louder fans over there, I think.
And it's going to be a tight game in that open division. Seeing River City and Mob City up against one another.
Yeah, that's their 4-5 game, the equivalent of the next game coming up here with Los Anarchists in Jacksonville.
And yes, that game is still happening. It might be a little delayed. We will give you an update on that. Teams, of course, need a chance to warm up. We didn't see either of those teams out at the half.
No, they weren't. Yeah, they weren't.
Nor
were they at the second half
Nor
time.
were they at the second half time,
we had the extra break. All right, now we are rolling back to action. Rose City with the pivot in the penalty box. Santa Cruz at full strength. Trooper with the star for Rose City, number 17-17, but out first and lead jammer number 99, Marinator, for the Santa Cruz Derby grounds.
All right, Trooper trying to cut through those seams, getting caught up. Forearm, though, she does manage to draw a forearm penalty on one of the Santa Cruz blockers.
And
did not hear.
No, and works her way through the pack as well. That was the Santa Cruz pivot. Number 91, Kitty Wales, heading to the penalty box on that run.
Meanwhile, Rose City now back at full strength. Pivot joining the action and coming in with a hit. But that may have cost her. Nope, not her. A trip to the box. Another Rose City skater.
And a beautiful block to open the door by Kenny the Shark.
All right.
Lowering the boom on the Rose City blocker to just knock her out of the way.
Santa Cruz now with another skater in the penalty box. As another one comes out.
And Santa Cruz seeming content. Marinator just going to keep running the score and burn some time off the clock as Trooper cutting around the outside.
Picking up 4 points, that scoring pass.
So that's a 12-8 jam at this point as Marinator finally calls it off after grabbing 4. 12-12 tie, 256-56.
And we just received confirmation from Gretchen that indeed White 17 was expelled from the game for impacting an NSO upon entering to the penalty box. Of course, that doesn't mean she can't skate in the next game.
Nope.
It's just out for now.
Just out for now. And those folding chairs, they move pretty easily. You got to be very careful coming in and sitting down.
And now we're just seeing a bit of a revolving door of skaters going into the penalty box. 2 Santa Cruz skaters right now.
And Tyranny jamming for Rose City is your lead jammer as Cerberus held up just long enough to get Tyranny free.
And Tyranny makes takes full advantage of only having to pass those 2 blockers.
And grabs a 5-point Grand Slam. First 5-point pass of the half for Rose City.
She calls it off, and it was in time to shut out Santa Cruz for that jam. And it's going to give Rose City the advantage of having 4 blockers out there up against 2 for Santa Cruz to start. Okay, and back to the action.
A nice slow burn at the start of the jam.
Yeah, there we go. We're seeing Rose City effectively use their own blockers. Oh, but a bit of a nasty spill. Gets up. A forearm call assessed, though, to the Rose City jammer.
She was almost out of the pack as well. So that gives the power jam to Tryon as LCU later sits in the penalty box, and Tryon bouncing through the middle.
Yeah, trying and succeeding, and her team didn't even bother to parlay some offense there. They trusted her power, but Rose City now getting wise to this, making a very sticky wall. No seams there. Oh,
except for
space
around the
on
outside.
the out. Yes.
It's tricky. You get slowing down, and where you're not getting any interference from the other team, and a jammer can dip really quickly, like that run where she just gets caught.
And the other thing about not having the other team in there is that then you don't have other bodies getting in the way of their own blocker. So sometimes that can be an advantage to have all 8 blockers out there causing trouble, because it makes it hard for any jammer to get through.
True, a body in the way is a body in the way. Lemmy Adam with the late hip check on that last run to slow things down. But
I'll see you later calling for some help, calling for some pivot help. Oh, that was an interesting maneuver there.
Yes, but finally clear.
Sees a very passive pivot come up, almost take the star, and
then
nope.
not. The old juke out on the star pass. Santa Cruz calls off the jam. 14 points. Takes them to an even 270. And 64 for the Rose City Rollers.
Definitely caused enough of a distraction to open up that outside line. And as we know, skaters at this high of a level do not need a lot of space to get by.
Definitely not. And official timeout because the door is open again.
Oh, we should really try to close that.
Well, we should. There's even a sign on it that says leave this door closed.
I'm really glad that is being taken seriously, though. I'm seeing enough highlight reels of hockey players doing some interesting dips and dives into their own bench area there.
Wiping out on the way in.
Derby comes with enough risk as it is. Of course, safety is of the utmost importance. We have incredible medical staff on hand. They have been out a couple times, not in this game, knock on wood, but in some of the others that we've called today, effectively helping everyone.
Exactly. And Spencer, the captain, gets to go sit in the penalty box because the door was not open and it was deemed this is a captain penalty now.
Yeah,
you
it's
were
an
warned once
interference.
before. You didn't do it this time. Excuse me as I bang into the microphone.
And of course, she'll be sitting as a blocker.
Yes. But not as a blocker, but rather as a jammer is Bruzella DeVille, and she is through, and your lead jammer.
Rose City's wall kind of getting cut up there by Santa Cruz offense. Bruzella DeVille testing out her edges there, making quick work of turn 2.
And that is trooper jamming for Rose City. And passing the star quickly to Demon Speed, number 138.
Big apex jump. And it is successful. The Rose City the third base coach over there calling for a cut.
But again, coaches, just like skaters, not referees.
Exactly.
You can call it all you want, but it's not always going to happen.
Some feedback I heard from a few referees at another event that I was involved with had mentioned that it's interesting when the new rules came in where you have to seed, right, on the cuts, and they're not just going to automatically give you a call. It took a long time for skaters to stop saying cut, 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 and actually warning the jammer that, hey, reminder, you need to seed. And so jammers went, oh, yeah, I got to seed. wasn't really to anyone's advantage.
Exactly. There was in the junior world, there were a lot of parents that took a while to figure that one out too. Cerberus is jamming for the Derby grounds. Gets the 4 points, calls off the jam.
Was jamming.
Was,
We'll change it to the past tense now.
And that 4 takes Santa Cruz 283. Rose City held at 64. 7 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the game.
We're still seeing both lines trying to stay together, trying to stay tight. We're not seeing just carelessness happening out there, or split packs or whatever. So both teams still showing their strength and their skill set out there.
And they've packed about halfway between the pivot and jam line as number 8, LCU later, jamming for Rose City and is your lead jammer.
Takes advantage of that corner. It's a beauty for jammers. Cut the distance from the outside to the in. She did just that.
Number 62, Tryon, jamming for the Santa Cruz Derby grounds.
Meanwhile, number 15 Santa Cruz, that's Bonnie and Collide, gets a multiplayer call.
And Tryon still on the initial pass, finally breaks out. As LCU later, working on the scoring pass. One skater to beat, taps the hips, collects all 5 points.
And shuts out Santa Cruz.
Bruzella DeVille back out to jam for Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz pivot saying, guess what, this back line is mine.
Santa Cruz 1 shy in the pack, 4-on-3 advantage to Rose City. Rose City with Trooper on the line. They've replaced the 17 with the 17-17 just to keep things easier.
There we go, exactly. Easier for the refs, that is.
And Bruzella DeVille is your lead jammer as Trooper popping out about a half a lap behind. Bruzella steps through on the inside edge, calls off the jam.
That half track has proven to be deadly in JRDA because everyone is flying around so quickly. So we're seeing people, they know, hey, a half track is not that long.
Not that much.
I am going to do my darndest to get through and then call it off. And it's exactly what we've been seeing. Fantastic communication on the track as well. People know where the others are. And it's one of those understated skills of roller derby, how effectively you can communicate out there.
All right, Tyranny with the star.
Nice hit by Fulagora, rather, from Rose City.
And Cerberus is jamming for Santa Cruz.
Cerberus, the captain, has been proving to be a strong jammer this game, but lead assessed to Tyranny. Cerberus getting held up by that Rose City line. Oh, a big hit.
And Tyranny calling for a penalty, and also number 360 Big Bang Fury saying, wait, didn't she cut? No, she landed inbounds and you fell down as well.
Exactly.
So it's all good.
And when you have a moment like that where basically time stops a little bit, referees also have a really good look. But now it looks like a penalty has been assessed.
Blocking with the head.
A blocking with the head call. As we mentioned earlier, you don't need to see an impact for the... Oh, and now we're going to see Cerberus sitting 2 penalties. I believe there was a misconduct added to that, or rather an insubordination. It's the same hand signal as misconduct. For exiting the track wherever at that point.
The old exit the track wherever
just to
track.
be
Sure.
just to be as conversational as I can.
She just
I
went
have seen
somewhere
this now,
she shouldn't have
Scott.
gone.
I've seen this in every game I've called today and the games that I've been doing production. At least 1, if not 2 skaters exiting the track wherever and getting the in-sub added on. That could be a full minute. Now, jammer penalties, of course, if the other jammer gets a penalty, that can change things.
You got to go out as soon as you're called. You
Santa
can't just
Cruz
keep rolling in bounds.
Just making trouble, but Tyranny gets by.
And Cerberus out of the penalty box and through as well, so 5 and a 4. And Tyranny hopping the corner, gets all 4. Cerberus around the outside gets all 4, so a 9-8 jam, I believe.
So So that was interesting. I'm not too sure what happened there with Cerberus's penalties. But as I mentioned, I've seen that so many times today, and sometimes just in the heat of the moment, you just forget where you are in space, and you're so used to being on the track that sometimes you forget, oh, I need to take the outside.
I need to go out there.
It's always an unfortunate penalty because it's one of those ones that's, I mean, they're all preventable, but that one especially. All right, we have lead assessed to number 8 for
That is
Rose City.
Yeah, LCU later.
Seeing them pull out these leads now later on in the game.
Exactly. Tryon jamming for Santa Cruz.
And that was a quick one.
Quick 4 points for LCU later. Calls off the jam. 82 now for Rose City.
She does leave 2 of her skaters in the box, including the pivot.
But also does add 4 points to the score and narrowing the differential a little bit.
And we're seeing this game that both teams are being able to use the other blockers to their advantage. So I wouldn't put it past Rose City to try to make that happen here, although they look like they're being swallowed up by that.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, pretty much. Allowing room on the inside.
That's Brazella DeVille just had the wide open lane.
Rose City, though, making the decision to try and cut down the distance that Brazella had to reach them, because adding speed to that power isn't always helpful. Of course, now we're getting stuck on turn 1.
As Rose City now up to 3 blockers. Pack Animal was on the track for a bit, but came back out and replaced a blocker that had left. But now we are at 3 on 4. And a star pass to Misdemeanor.
He doesn't get a chance to put on his head.
Barely got any points out of that at all. In fact, didn't, is what I meant to say. It was a 10-0 run for Santa Cruz as we are now into 30 seconds to go in the game. We will get at least one more, I'm assuming just one more jam, but you never know.
You never know. Magic
Somebody
of
might
Derby.
be sneaky, grab a quick lead and call it off and call a timeout just because, just to throw off what I've said.
Let's just make sure the laptop lasts. Okay. I'm just itching for a jinxing here. That's what's happening. All right. We have Trooper out there for Rose City, and she's been just that, a Trooper, pushing a very powerful wall.
Number 99, Marinator, however, jamming for Santa Cruz, and lead jammer sliding into the pack as the period clock is now expired. Jam clock 1:30 to go.
Perhaps looking just to get a bit more points added. Oh,
Or
decides.
just like, you know, I'm tired. Let's just end it. We got 301 points. What the heck? We've won.
And we do have the unofficial score on the clock. Santa Cruz, 302. Rose City Rollers, 82.
So Santa Cruz moves on, following the seeding as we would have expected if we assumed that the seeds would go out in order.
Yes.
The number 1 beating the number 8. Santa Cruz will play at 2 o'clock tomorrow against the winner of the next game coming up.
They certainly will, and that means that our Rose City Rollers, who've played, this was their second game today. They've had a win and a loss to bring them to this point. They will go on to play at 6 o'clock tomorrow, so the same time that they started today. Tomorrow.
Actually, they start at 12 o'clock.
My apologies. I'm getting ahead of myself here.
They got to play Crooked River
yes,
first before they get to that.
Crooked River first. So.
Crooked River losing this morning.
Are you sure? I don't want to judge. It says G6 here and then G5, but we're.
This is game 6.
No, game 6 is.
Oh, you're right. So they got the thing wrong, but
you know it's confusing. Look at this. It's
Look at
just
how
a bunch
confusing
of
this thing
yeah.
is.
There
it's
we go.
Lines
So 6 o'clock. I know it seems a little late, but the same time tomorrow, they'll be playing the winner of game 8. That'll be Crooked River, and the loser of the next game.
Yes, I believe that is the case because the next game will be a quarterfinal, and that would. Or those ones would roll down.
That would make sense.
It's brackets. Somebody's going to play somebody tomorrow, and then someone will tell us who that game is.
You know, a great place to check if you're ever unsure is on Twitter at JRDA_rocks. That's ROCKS. They have been phenomenal, sharing updates, giving links on where to get your live action. And, of course, if you have any questions about what's happening, #talk2, that's the number 2, JRDA.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Scott.
Fenella.
Let's give the official final there to end us off.
The official final score, Santa Cruz Derby Grounds win 302, Rose City Rollers 82. Coming up next, this game I know because this one's right,
yes.
is Los Anarchists versus Jacksonville Junior Roller Derby. That will be in at least 20 minutes because they got to give the teams time to warm up. You are watching the 2018 JRDA Championships Tournament on WFTDA.tv.